Democratic Socialist Zohran Mamdani set to lead New York City on the 1st of January.
An actual communist jihadist, a literal Karl Marx quoting American-hating jihadist.
Self-proclaimed New York City communist Zohran Mamdani,
who is a socialist communist.
Well, Mamdani the communist.
An avowed communist.
I call him my little communist.
Well, love him or hate him, everyone seems to agree this guy's a communist.
Let our words ring out so loud tonight that Andrew Cuomo can hear them in his $8,000 a month apartment. Let them ring so loud. New York is not for sale.
Meet Zohran Mamdani, the man who just became the new mayor of New York City. He didn't just win, he stormed to victory with a promise that electrified millions. To take on the city's super rich, to freeze rents, and to rebuild New York for the working class. In his victory speech, he stood before a roaring crowd and said that for far too long, power in this city hasn't belonged to those with calloused hands and scarred knuckles. He declared, with fire in his voice, "Tonight, against all odds, we have grasped it."
Tonight, against all odds, we have grasped it.
But then, there's this, the world that Zohran Mamdani actually comes from. It's a world of Oscar nominations, global movie premieres, Ivy League professorships, and sprawling multi-million-dollar homes. His mother is a world-famous filmmaker, with a personal net worth estimated in the tens of millions. His father is a celebrated intellectual, holding one of the most prestigious professorships at Columbia University. Zohran didn't just grow up comfortable. He grew up surrounded by a level of global success and influence that most New Yorkers can only ever dream of. And that brings us to the huge, glaring question at the very center of New York's new reality. Is the city's new socialist mayor, the man who has declared war on wealth, secretly a millionaire himself? The answer is far more complicated, and honestly much more revealing than you could ever imagine. We are going deep inside the life, the money, and the deeply held beliefs of Zohran Mamdani to uncover the truth. To truly understand the puzzle of Zohran Mamdani, you can't start with him. You have to start with his parents, because when your mother is Mira Nair and your father is Mahmood Mamdani, privilege isn't just an insult hurled by your opponents. It's a fundamental fact of your life. First, let's look at his mother, Mira Nair. If you've ever found yourself lost in the brilliant, vibrant chaos of an Indian wedding on the big screen, you have probably seen her work. She's not just another director, she's a global icon. Her very first feature film, 1988's Salaam Bombay, was a raw, devastating look at the lives of street children in Mumbai. It wasn't just a critical darling, it became a global phenomenon, earning nominations for an Academy Award, a Golden Globe, and a BAFTA. It also won the prestigious Camera d'Or at the Cannes Film Festival, launching her onto the world stage practically overnight. And that was only the beginning of her incredible career. In 1991, she directed Mississippi Masala, starring a young Denzel Washington, a bold film that explored the complex relationships between Black and South Asian communities in the American South. But her biggest commercial success came in 2001 with Monsoon Wedding. Shot in just 30 days, this beautiful, sprawling story about a Punjabi wedding became a runaway hit, grossing over $30 million worldwide. It won the Golden Lion at the Venice Film Festival, the festival's absolute highest prize, making Mira Nair the first Indian woman in history to receive it. Her production company, Mirabai Films, has been behind these hits, and she's gone on to direct major Hollywood stars and even a Disney movie, Queen of Katwe. A career like that doesn't just bring fame, it generates serious, life-changing wealth. And you can see that wealth. For over a decade, Nair reportedly owned a stylish loft in Manhattan's exclusive West Chelsea neighborhood, which she sold in 2019. The family has also lived in Columbia-owned faculty housing on the Upper West Side, in an apartment that could easily command an estimated $6,000 a month on the open market. And then there's the family's stunning estate in Uganda, Zohran's birthplace, overlooking the majestic Lake Victoria. This 5-bedroom villa, complete with a swimming pool and a full staff, has been listed for years on Airbnb. renting for between $300 and $350 a night. It's not just a vacation home, it's a luxury rental business, a symbol of a life that is worlds away from the daily struggles of the average New Yorker. That world of artistic fortune is only half of the story. Zohran's father, Mahmood Mamdani, is an intellectual giant in the world of post-colonial studies. Born in Mumbai and raised in Kampala, Uganda, his entire life was shaped by the immense political upheavals of the 20th century. He first came to the United States as part of the Kennedy Airlift, a program that brought promising East African students to America, and eventually earned his PhD from Harvard. His journey was marked by hardship. He was expelled from Uganda by the brutal dictator Idi Amin, and was even left stateless for criticizing another regime. These experiences became the foundation of his life's work. His 1996 book, Citizen and Subject, is a landmark text that fundamentally changed how academics understand the legacy of colonialism. Today, he is the Herbert Lehman Professor of Government at Columbia University, and in 2008, he was named one of the top 20 public intellectuals in the entire world. A senior professorship at an Ivy League university is a very well-paying position, with salaries estimated to be between $200,000 and $300,000 a year. So, when you combine Mira Nair's fortune from filmmaking with Mahmood Mamdani's academic prestige, you get a family that is, by any definition, a part of the global elite. Zohran was born in Kampala, Uganda, but grew up in New York City, attending the exclusive Bank Street private school and then the prestigious Bronx High School of Science. It is this gilded background that became the fuel for the firestorm of attacks during his mayoral campaign. Critics relentlessly branded him a Nepo baby and a hypocrite, painting him as just another rich kid cosplaying as a champion of the people. Their question was simple and sharp. How can a man from this world of privilege possibly claim to represent the working class? This is the powerful myth of the millionaire mayor. But to find out the truth, you have to look beyond his famous family, and at the very different path Zohran chose to walk for himself. Zohran Mamdani's adult life didn't begin on a film set or in a Wall Street boardroom. It began in the neighborhoods of Queens, helping families on the brink of losing their homes. After graduating from Bowdoin College, he didn't call on his family's powerful connections. Instead, he took a job as a foreclosure prevention counselor for a modest salary of about $47,000 a year. He spent his days on the absolute front lines of New York's brutal housing crisis, going head-to-head with banks to keep a roof over the heads of working-class families. He says it was in those trenches, witnessing that struggle up close, that his political convictions were forged. It's what motivated him to find his own rent-stabilized apartment in Astoria, the very kind of stable, affordable home he was fighting to protect for others. From that experience, his activism exploded. He became a crucial organizer for New York City's taxi drivers who were being systematically crushed by billions of dollars in predatory debt for their taxi medallions. Mamdani and his fellow organizers led massive protests and, in a dramatic move, even went on hunger strikes. Their long and difficult fight ended in a historic victory, significant debt relief that saved thousands of drivers from financial ruin. These experiences on the streets propelled him directly into the political arena. In 2020, he launched a long-shot campaign for the state assembly in Queens, taking on a powerful 5-term incumbent. Running as a proud democratic socialist, he built a grassroots coalition of working-class voters and immigrants. And against all odds, he won. As a state assemblyman, his salary was $142,000 a year. It's a good income, no doubt, but a completely different universe from being a millionaire. His single biggest legislative achievement was pushing through a pilot program for fare-free buses, successfully turning one of his core socialist ideals into actual city policy. So, what about his own money? What does the so-called millionaire socialist actually have to his name? His financial disclosures paint a surprisingly humble picture. Forbes estimates his total net worth to be around just $200,000. To put that in perspective, it's a tiny fraction of the fortune of Andrew Cuomo, one of his main rivals in the mayoral race. The biggest portion of Mamdani's reported net worth isn't in stocks or real estate. It's a 4-acre plot of undeveloped land in Jinja, Uganda, the country where he was born, which he says was a gift from a relative valued at somewhere between $150,000 and $250,000. His other assets are shockingly small. His retirement plan contains less than $2,000. And in a quirky, revealing detail that emerged during the campaign, he reported earning about $1,000 in recent years from music royalties from his past life as a rapper who went by the name Young Cardamom. Here in the capital of capitalism, Zohran Mamdani lives a life that seems to perfectly mirror his politics. He's still in that same rent-stabilized apartment in Astoria. He doesn't own a car and has become famous for taking the subway absolutely everywhere. So the investigation into the millionaire mayor hits a dead end. The money simply isn't there. The real mystery isn't about his wealth. It's how this man, with his modest personal life but incredibly elite background, managed to convince the most diverse city in America to hand him the keys to Gracie Mansion on a platform of radical democratic socialism. So, how do we make sense of the two Zohran Mamdanis? The son of the global elite and the champion of the working class. This might feel like a uniquely modern puzzle, but it's actually a classic story in the history of American politics. Think about Franklin Delano Roosevelt. FDR was a true aristocrat, born into one of New York's oldest and wealthiest families. And yet, when faced with the catastrophe of the Great Depression, he created the New Deal, the single largest expansion of the social safety net in American history. People from his own privileged class branded him a traitor for daring to use his power to help the common person. Or think about John F. Kennedy, the son of a ruthless tycoon who inspired an entire generation to embrace public service. Zohran Mamdani is a modern-day version of this very archetype. He is what some people call a class traitor, a label he appears to fully embrace. As Forbes magazine noted, despite his own privileged path to power, or perhaps because of it, the son of a Columbia University professor and a movie director is campaigning as a socialist, intent on redistributing New York's wealth. Mamdani doesn't try to hide his background. He uses it. Every time he swipes his Metro card to ride the subway or talks about living in his rent-stabilized apartment, he is deliberately creating a powerful contrast between the life he has chosen and the life of immense wealth he could have easily had. It's a brilliant political strategy, but does it hold up under scrutiny? A real investigation has to examine the potential conflicts of interest. For example, his political platform is aggressively pro-tenant, calling for things like a citywide rent freeze. Yet his own family has been in the landlord business for years, renting out their luxury villa in Uganda. His opponents seized on this, calling it blatant hypocrisy. His supporters, however, argue that this completely misses the point, that his policies are aimed at fundamentally changing an exploitative system, regardless of his family's personal assets. He successfully built a broad coalition that included countless progressive voters who shared his economic vision, convincing them that his focus was squarely on the issues affecting all working-class New Yorkers. Mamdani's victory was no fluke. It was the culmination of a political movement that correctly identified the single biggest issue for the vast majority of New Yorkers, the absolutely crushing cost of living. His campaign didn't just point out the problem. It offered a clear, bold vision for a city that actively works for its working-class residents. So, after all of that, is Zohran Mamdani a millionaire socialist? The answer is a clear and simple no. The millionaire in the family is his mother, a self-made artist who achieved global success. His own net worth is modest, and he lives a life that is very much in line with that of a typical New Yorker. The real story here is about proximity to power and what a person chooses to do with it. Mamdani was born with a front-row seat to the lives of the global 1%. He could have effortlessly leveraged his family's name and connections into a life of personal fortune. He chose not to. He chose to become a housing counselor, a community organizer, and now a politician who has declared his intention to challenge the very class he was born into. This is precisely what makes him such a fascinating and, to some, a genuinely frightening figure in American politics. His critics see a dangerous radical whose policies could cripple New York's economy. His supporters see a transformative leader who understands the system from the inside and therefore knows exactly how to change it. They see someone who chose solidarity with the struggling over his own self-interest. For New Yorkers, the question was never really about the size of his bank account. It was about the depth of his commitment. Now that he's in office, the questions are much more practical. Can he actually deliver on a rent freeze, universal childcare, and free buses? Is it a hypocrisy to be born of wealth and fight for the poor? Or is it the new face of American political change? For the next 4 years, New York City will be the national laboratory for that exact experiment. And Zohran Mamdani, the city's first Indian-American mayor, its youngest in over 130 years, and the son of privilege turned socialist champion, will be its chief scientist. The world will be watching.